Hello everyone, I'm Danielle from Cageless Readings. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a little different from normal. I do not consider myself a medium. I don't focus on that, but I also believe that anyone and everyone has the ability to be a medium or to connect with Passover loved ones, or really any soul or energy that you choose to. I think all of us are naturally gifted to do that. So I want to do this reading because I personally have lost people in my life, and I know that sometimes we can stop being our full selves or just stop living our own lives when we lose these people. And I know that people will say that all the time, but honestly, sometimes we really just need to hear messages from them so that we feel more at peace with it, or so that we feel reassured or comforted that everything's going well for them, that they want the best for us. And we can know that, but sometimes we just actually really need to hear it. So that all being said, this is my part of my reason why I'm doing this reading on Passover loved ones. I thought it would only be right for me to share a bit of my story about someone that I have lost, because I feel like often I was just like flipping through YouTube Passover loved one readings, and people don't really seem to talk a lot about their own losses. I would appreciate being able to relate a little bit with the person reading my cards, and I like it when there's commonalities and an understanding that someone can share with me. So my story behind my hardest loss, I have definitely and do continue to struggle with the loss of one of my dearest friends that I lost during COVID, but it was due to mountaineering activities, and he was my safest friend, so it was definitely a shock. I didn't think he would pass away before I did in a mountain activity, and I definitely knew that I had withdrawn a bit from other people, from my relationships, from my friendships, but I just kept telling myself that no one really noticed, or it was just me. But because of the timing with COVID, I realized that it made it extremely easy for myself to distance myself from loved ones, essentially, whoever it was. It was just like I lost him, and I removed myself from a sense of community. I was consciously telling myself at the time that because I do mountain activities and I do want to do it on a harder, more extreme level, that, you know, like I was doing the world a favor by not putting myself out there, because if I passed away as he did, and he was much safer than I was and much more cautious than I was, that someone else would feel this level of pain from caring that much about me and then losing me. So I was telling myself that it was okay for me to do this because I was doing it for the betterment of other people. But reality check is that, you know, like, you're not any better for people, or I had to realize that that one of the things that bring me so much fulfillment in life is being able to bring a smile to other people's faces, to be one of those people that is vulnerable and open so that they feel able to be vulnerable and open. And I just kind of stopped with that. I removed myself a lot from situations, and I would be okay with people being very open and honest with me, but I kept myself very guarded, and I had to really sit down with myself and realize that I lost this amazing person in my life who inspired me to be the best version of myself, to be open, to be vulnerable, to just really be so open and honest that other people couldn't help but want to be as well and be their true self. And I stopped doing that, and I started to not feel like I was being such a contributing person. I wasn't coming with my best energy or my best attitude, and maybe to some people that doesn't mean much, but I feel like that was something I was known for being the person who was genuinely grateful to be alive, someone who was so happy and so free. And I just stopped being that person. And it took me quite a while, I would even say until recently, to realize that it really all started there with the loss of this friend. And just not wanting to ever experience that level of pain again in my life. And then instead of being able to focus on how much love this person brought into my life, and inspiration and mentorship and just some of my favorite moments in life where we're with this friend, and instead of like shutting those down and only thinking about how they don't exist anymore, I'm not doing anyone favors by doing that. I'm like not my best version of myself. I'm not the person I'm proud of being. And instead of just beating myself up about that and about them not being here and about him being the one who passed away on a mountain when I always thought it was going to be me, doesn't do anyone any favors. It doesn't make my life more fulfilling. It doesn't make the people in my life that I encounter feel grateful, blessed, or happy to have me in their life. It just basically means that I just let myself stop being me, stop being the human I wanted to be the moment that friend died. And what a shame it is, because I'm sure on the other side he's gonna be like, what did you do? What happened? Why did you stop living your life? Why did you stop being who you loved being? Because now you're gonna have to go back and you're gonna have to do it all over again, because you didn't overcome the thing you wanted to overcome. You didn't continue to be the best person you could be, the person that brought more beauty and love into the world like you wanted to because you lost me. So now we're gonna do it again so that you can learn that you didn't need me to be that person. It was always within you. So that is a message that I really needed to hear, and that I really needed. And I also needed the ass kicking, if I'm being honest, because yes, there still is so much pain in that loss and in him not being there. But really going in and realizing that I'm gonna live decades longer, possibly maybe only live a year longer, who knows, right? Like, who actually knows? Am I gonna be proud of who I was because I lost someone and then I just like withdrew from everyone? I stopped being a person that I was proud of. I stopped being the person that I loved being, and I stopped being the person to other people that he was to me. An inspiration, a great friend, a reliable human being when you needed someone that just made you smile, not take life too seriously, a person who would just dream endlessly, like a true visionary, someone that everybody loved. I can still be that for other people if I actually am real and I decide to be truly who I am. And I have a suspicion that a lot of you could also be stuck in a rut like that, because I can't be the only human in the world to lose something so dear and then just kick everybody out of my life on a deeper level. Man, my friend would kick me in the ass if he saw how I was living my life today. He would kick me in the ass, and then he'd be very kind and say, like, what's going on, you know? what do you need right now? What do you need to get back to who you are? Don't let this thing break you. Don't let this be the defining moment in the rest of your life. You've got so much more to offer. And I have a suspicion that your loved ones would probably have a similar message for you all. So I know it's hard. I know it hurts. And I know that there's just truly a gap sometimes that's just gone. Sometimes it feels like there's just truly a piece of you gone when they died. When they passed away, you just can't connect to something anymore. So it's okay. We're gonna get through this together, and I really hope that there's some messages that come through for you all that help support you, because I find a lot of the times all of us will hide our true pain from others, and we do it to protect ourselves, and I think we also do it to protect the other ones, but it doesn't serve anyone, keeping it to ourselves. Really big lesson for me as well is realizing that I don't want to replace that person that I lost, that friend, but I also don't want to never experience that level of friendship again. I don't want to never have that again. And if I choose to keep my guard up and not letting people in, whether I say it's for my own protection or theirs, then I will never experience an amazing friendship like that again. Someone who connects energetically the same way I do on what I'm passionate about. And don't get me wrong, like, we all have friends that we love for different reasons, but when you find one that is on that same energetic wavelength as you, it's just so special. And it's just something doesn't come one in a lifetime. It only comes once in a lifetime if we shut ourselves off to it. And that's something that I'm learning. So I just don't want everyone else to shut themselves off from that stuff too, because it's not a very fulfilling life. It's not a very passionate life, and it's not one that makes us go to bed at night and feel grateful to be living. We all know our loved ones sure didn't want that for us. So that might have been a little bit of a ramble, but I just felt like if I was going to do a Passover Loved Ones reading, I should do it right, and I should come from a place of honesty about why I feel like it's important to do this card reading, to share with you, and to know, like, if you're struggling with this, if you are having a hard time, like, it's so normal, and it's okay not to be okay, but just make sure you're being a person you're proud of being, because it's not selfish to want to feel good. It's not selfish to want to love your life. It's not selfish to be happy. And there is pain there, but instead of using it as a reason to hide from people, I think it's so important to use it as a reason to be like, I'm here. And I heard this talk the other day where someone was saying, like, at the end of their life, they want to be the one high-fiving their passed over loved ones and saying, hell yeah, I went all out. I did it all. I lived my life to the fullest. And just, like, celebrating with them all these memories and all these things they experienced and sharing with them. Because once you're not here in a physical form, let's be real, like, we're just going to have our memories from when we were here that we're going to want to share and remember and feel good about. So make sure you're making those memories that you want to have to remember and share with them on the other side. Because, like I said, it really sucked to have to come back and do it all again because we got stuck in our pain and forgot our purpose. Just something to think about. All right, let's just go into a little bit of a breakdown now. That's all I have to say about that. Sorry if it feels a little heavy for you all, but yeah. I think it's important to say that for some of you who might be a little lost in it, you know? We can get a little lost in it. So, the breakdown of this card reading. First one was me sharing a little bit about my story. The second thing for the actual card reading we're going to be looking at is the person's character and energy of your passed over loved one. So I'm hoping that this will just give you information right off the bat. Is this pile has a message for you if this is your passed over loved one coming through. If it comes up, we're going to do who they were to you. So maybe it was a friend, a role model, a parent, a child, grandparent, something like that. I don't know for sure if it will come through or not, but because it's a general card reading. So I'm just going to put it out there to check in if it does come up. Another thing we're going to be looking at is what were they here to teach you? What did you learn from them? And then we're also going to look at what were you here to teach them and what gifts did you offer them? Because it's always a two-way street, right? We can sometimes forget that we bring a lot of value into their lives as well. The final thing we're going to be looking at is what advice do they have for you? What do they want you to know right now? What do you need to hear from them? So I think that's just where we're going to leave it for today. We might do a guided meditation at the end of this. I'm just going to see how the piles go. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with that. So I'll just explain it when we get there. I think I'm going to do all the card piles first and then see what's needed for the general today. Okay, so I'm going to let you all go and pick your piles now, and I'll see you in your card readings. Alright everyone, so pile 1 is this piece of Moonstone. Pile 2 is this rose quartz crystal. Pile 3 is this piece of porcelain Jasper. Alright, just a reminder to please ground yourselves before you choose your piles, whether you're just taking a few deep breaths or visualizing those roots going down into the center of Mother Earth, or whichever way you ground yourself, please do so now before you choose your piles. Alright, I will see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile 1. You all chose the Moonstone. So let's just look at the cards here and then I'll explain what I see coming in. Okay, so pile 1, I'm a little surprised to see that the energy is of your energy and how your energy was impacted by the loss of this really precious person to you. And how it's coming through is that I see that before you lost this person, you were a beautiful, radiant, extroverted, very loving and giving. I just feel like you were very vulnerable and very real, and your heart was just completely open to the world and to the people you encountered. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful energy. I really have to say that. It feels very free. It feels very very fulfilled in what you were doing in your life. You might even have thought, can life get any better than this? Like, I'm so blessed. There was a lot of gratitude from this card, and a lot of playfulness that I get out of this card. And then I see after the loved one of yours has passed away that it surprised you, it shocked you, and it sort of shattered your world as you knew it. I just see that you were so vulnerable and you were so open-hearted, and this really hit you hard. I feel like the sensation that I get for you all is that it feels like your heart just like exploded, like it just burst into many pieces, and then you just didn't know how to pick yourself back up again. And I get for some of you that this event didn't happen that long ago. This feels like a pretty fresh wound still. And for some of you, it could just be because the grief, every time you think of it, hits you really hard again, or this person was just such a prominent person in your life. You saw them a lot that it feels like you have to see where you feel their loss in so many different aspects in your life. And there are some messages coming up right away from your passed over loved one. So I should say that I get that this person brought out a very gentle side in you. You had like they made you feel very tender-hearted. I think, I'm not positive, but I get the impression that it's more of a childlike energy. So it could have been a younger person, like anywhere from an actual child to a young adult. They were very youthful in their energy, and they were very like joyous. Like I just see images of people smiling a lot and just being excited to have new experiences or to go on car rides specifically. Maybe you spent a lot of time in a car with this person, or there's a lot of road trips that meant a lot to you, or maybe you drove this kid to school, this child to school, and there was like some really good conversations that happened, a really good time that happened there. But I just keep seeing an image of like a younger person in the back of a car and smiling, kind of being really excited. But I also get that message at the same time. So here it says like, we have been together in dreams and there is no such thing as death. And I really get that this person that has crossed over has passed away. I actually see them as having almost taken a guardian angel role for you. So I see that they are never very far from you, and how they like are explaining it to me is that for them, they haven't lost anything. Like they're not alone, they're not without you. For them, they are in a different physical state. So they're with you all the time now. They're with you more than they've ever been. And they are just as joyous and excited as they were when they were living. And maybe even a bit more, because there isn't like this, like such a heaviness that our earthly bodies bring to us, and those lower emotions that we can feel being in our physical form. So I just really see like this very cheerful, and I keep getting the word joyous, which is very interesting. I don't usually use the word joyous, but it's definitely the word coming through is joyous, very joyous. And they're just really saying like they understand why you are like feeling this way, why you're so lost and hurt, and I feel like just not able to see your way out of this place you're in. Like I just feel like you're just trying so hard to find you again, but there's just this confusion and this pain and this just like this shock state almost that you are all still in. And I just think, so another reason why I keep thinking it was very sudden, I think it was like quite a young person's death. Like it was someone who you wouldn't think would pass for decades, I want to say. Like, it was so unexpected. Sorry, but this is a message I keep not saying fully. So how I see it is that they're really just wanting you to know that for them, they're still always with you, and that they understand that you need to grieve, that there's a change in the physical state that you communicate with them. And what that just means is they're still energetically with you all the time. They're just not in a human physical form anymore. So they like don't want you to be so sad, because they're like, I'm with you all the time and I get to be with you way more than we had time while I was alive to be with you. And this is like a new cool way, and it's just exciting for this Passover loved one. Like, they have a lot of like excitement for this new role that they have in this different physical form. But they just keep saying, like, I'm not gone. Like, we're not actually saying goodbye. There's no such thing as goodbye. There's just a different physical form in which we are now communicating and being together with. And the reason why I keep saying communicating is, one, they're with you still. And then two, we have been together in dreams. I feel like you could be communicating with them a lot in your dream time. And this is also how they're trying to help you feel comforted and more at peace with what has happened. Nothing here is saying that you need to like hurry along and just get over this, or that you're just taking too much time. Everything here is coming in a very beautiful, gentle, very loving energy, and all of it's just wanting to support you in whichever way you need. And I really need to reiterate that there's a lot of archangel presence here, as well as this passed over loved one coming through to just surround you in compassion and love and security. I feel like, because I think that's what your soul's really needing, is it just had so much shock by this loss that it just needs some feeling of security right now, that it's safe to go and live a life. It's safe to trust what you believe. It's safe to be. So something I would maybe recommend for you all, if you're feeling up to it, is before you go to bed, just put out there, make it an intention that you want to communicate with this passed over loved one in a dream, and you want to remember it. I think saying you want to remember it's going to be very key, and I really think this is going to help with closure. And I don't want to say closure because you don't actually have to let them go, but it's really with being okay with the different way now that this loved one is going to be with you. And that there's, like I keep saying, there's no time pressure on this. They all understand everything. All the angels and this Passover loved one understand that this is just going to take time. But I just feel so much like they just want so much peace for you. They want you to feel safe and loved and supported. And I really get that they just want you to feel okay in your body again. That's a very strong one coming through, is they want you to feel okay. And another important message coming through from this person, when I saw this earth is our school card, I couldn't help but think that some of you might feel like there is something you could do to change this passed over loved one from passing away. And the message here is a very strong that this was a soul contract. This was something before you both came into your physical forms on this earth, had this soul contract with each other, that this was going to be part of the experience you had. So they had agreement that they would pass away when they did, and your soul had an agreement with them that they would be part of your life, so that you would learn from this experience. And it could be that you learned so much from them being in your life. It could be that you are going to help other people overcome challenges of losing loved ones like this. Some of you, I think it was a child of your own that maybe had passed away, and some it could be, like I said, just like a younger person. It could be a really good friend that felt like a sibling, like a younger sibling. Someone could have been like a niece or a nephew. But the commonality in all this is that there was just this deep, deep love. They brought out this very tender, nurturing side within you. And I just, yeah, I keep saying that, but I just see that when you looked at them, there's just a tenderness that came out of you towards them. It was just such a pure love for this soul that has passed away. So I just really want you to hear me on the fact that this was not something you could prevent, change, or not have occurred, because it wasn't just a soul contract on your side, it was on their side as well. So they had the agreement that they were going to pass away at that age, at that time. And if it wasn't those circumstances, it would be a different circumstance. It wasn't something that was that could have been avoided. So some of the messages coming through from the archangels, as I was saying, there's a lot of archangel energy around you all for this pile. Archangel Azrael is the archangel of helping our loved ones cross over. And when I see this, it says comfort, which is great because I actually feel like not so much the passed over loved one that is needing this support, but it's actually for you. And it even says, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. And I really like that it said heart, because I see a lot of cards here saying that it really was a huge injury to your heart, to your heart center energy, that it just overwhelmed it and it shocked it, and it's needing a lot of gentleness and compassion and support right now to feel comforted and feel okay. So I really get that there's, like, when I see pile one's energy here, I see this beautiful Passover loved one standing real near, all excited to be a guardian angel for you, or be a like a little watchful helper for you. And then I see 4 archangels, and one for sure is Azrael, who's sending this very comforting and gentle energy towards you. And then I see on the other side Archangel Michael, who's trying to make sure that you feel protected and secure and safe. I see Archangel Raphael, who's trying to also help heal the wound that this caused. And there's another angel, and I'm not too sure who they are. And I think that could just be because it could be a different angel for every one of you, but I know for sure that there is 4 for all of you, plus this passed over loved one, and they're really all just standing around you in a very protective energy, and they're just what's the word I'm looking for? They're just essentially cocooning you in loving energy and in support and comfort. And it's just, it really further, sorry, I just got lost in train of thought. I was just saying, it really further tells me that you have a deep connection with these angels. And I don't know if this is from past life, maybe you pray to them, maybe you use them as your guides, but there's definitely a strong connection here with the archangels in you. You mean a lot to them, and I mean, all angels love everyone, but for this pile, it's a very intimate relationship where there's been a lot that's occurred in your relationship with them. Like, you have worked with them, you've had relationship with these angels in some way or in some form. So it could be that you've worked with them in many lifetimes, I'm not sure, but that seems very important to mention because there's just so much love for you from these archangels that are surrounding you. And I really think that a lot of your work, like how you were before you had lost this loved one, is you were really living like your life's purpose, your life's mission. you were fulfilled, you were passionate. And I think these angels really respect these angels really respect the work that you do and the love and the healing you put out into the world. And I just see that they now want to support you, and they want to get you back to that empowered, radiant version of yourself that you were. Once again, I just want to reiterate that there's no mention or pressure of a time frame that you have to be on or get back to how you were. Everything's just coming from a place of they just love you so much, and they want you to be back in that beautiful energy you once were. And they don't want to see you stuck in this confusion, this shock, this heartache, this just deep pain longer than you have to be, longer than you need to be. And I just keep getting is that they just have so much love for you. They have so much respect for you as well. And I am talking about the archangels here. They have so much respect that they just want to help you get back to the beautiful state that you were once in here. So here on this card here it says, Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. And I feel like that's actually a very big message coming through, is that they want you to know that you're not on by yourself. Like, you might feel like no one can understand, no one can reach you in this like state that you're in, or this shock that you're in. But the angels are saying, like, please let us help you. Please know that you're not alone, and that we want to help you get out of this. We don't want to make you forget this loved one. Don't want to make you feel pressured or anything, but we are here, and we are so happy to help. Like I keep saying, they have just this beautiful love for you. Archangel Gabriel, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So just a little ask from the angels that you are very gentle with yourself and see your situation from a third perspective, and don't put too much pressure on yourself to maybe be as you were, or to get over things, or have more energy, or be better, or whatever it is that you might be telling yourself. Just to be very gentle and see your situation from a third perspective, and have some more compassion towards yourself. And then another message here, it says, clairsentience, Archangel Raguel, notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So if you find yourself getting a lot of like tingling sensations on your shoulders and arms, then I think this is how the angels are communicating with you, and your passed over loved one is communicating with you that you are supported, and that they are surrounding you, and that they are sending you as much love and support as they can. And I think they might do this in times where you might find yourself going down a negative mental spiral about what you don't think you're doing enough of. You might find this happening anytime you start to have a negative thought, or a thought around maybe even the incident in which this passed over loved one passed away, or it could even be just going down into a negative headspace. These angels and your Passover loved one are sending that sensation to you right now, so that you know that you are supported, that they are there, and they love you so much. They love you so much. And that's just what they're meaning that by. And I know that tingles and sensations can mean many things, but right now the message coming forward is that that's how they're choosing to communicate, or essentially snap you out of the thought process you were just in, because they don't want to see you suffering or any more than you already have, and any more than you need to. So it's just as to wrap this up here, I did pull a card on advice for you right now for your well-being, and I got this one here, and it says, always leave some space within when you eat. And it says, an empty space within is a magnet for the life force, for inspiration, introspection, and keeping your attention awake. Today is your day to eat moderately. Enjoy the alertness that ingesting small amounts brings about. And it is an interesting card to have come up. The thing that I'm really drawn towards on this card is the strawberry. And I feel like something that you may want to consider is all food has an energy to it, and there could be something important about the energy that strawberry brings, so like the healing energy. And I would imagine that it would also just be a very grounding food to eat. Something about the seeds, all the seeds in it feel really important. I almost see it as it's a fruit that, if you like strawberries and you're not allergic or anything, to maybe consider eating to help your heart mend back together. And while you're eating it, maybe have an intention, because I almost see that all the seeds on the strawberry kind of make me think of how I can see your heart energy being a little like all over the place, like just in these little pieces. And I almost see that this food stepping forward to help unite that energy back together, help basically mend back together. And you also might just want to look up the spiritual meaning of strawberries. I don't really actually know off the top of my head all the healing medicines of foods, but that's like what I'm getting from the strawberry. So if it resonates, go for it. If it doesn't, just leave it on YouTube. But yeah, it's very interesting to have that come through in this card reading. So just something to think about. Trying to make sure I just touch based on everything here. I think this is all I have for you all right now. Your Passover loved one is trying to support you the best they can from their physical state they're in now, and the archangels are just smothering you in compassion and love and support, and are really wanting you to ask for whatever you need. If there's any worries or fears that are overwhelming, they really want you to release them to them. And then, just as I was saying before about the dreams, if you're open to it or if you're wanting to, I feel like this Passover loved one would really like to help support you as they can in your dream time together. And just make sure to ask for you to remember your dream, if you want to remember it. And just as they just keep reiterating that, one, I think they want to see the joy and that tender-heartedness that you had towards them back in you and being put out into the world, and that they just really want you to know that there is nothing that you could have done to change what happened. This was all agreed before coming into this lifetime, and that as far as they are aware, that there's no true thing as death, and that you will be together again in the same forms sooner or later. And they really just want you to make sure that you live a life that at the end you have the memories and the beauty to share with them, because their version, they're going to be on by your side in these experiences, but in your physical version they won't be. And I think your loved one's just going to actually enjoy telling you all the moments where they were there too. even though you didn't know it at the time. Okay, all right, that's all I have for you all. I hope you are doing okay. Take it easy on yourselves and just know that you are so, so loved. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot to mention the other message that I was getting to is that for some of you, you may have called this person your own personal angel or your little angel, or you might even just have had the nickname Angel for them, and who knows, maybe their name was Angel. But that was a message that was coming through for somebody, so I just really wanted to add that in case that was something you really needed to hear. So yeah, that was important for someone. Okay, that's actually all I have now. You have a really good day. Y'all chose this piece of rose quartz crystal. I'm just gonna put down all the cards and then we're gonna look at what you got. All right, pile two. So the energy that I have coming through here, it feels very masculine. I would almost want to say that if you pick this pile, it's probably a passed over father or father figure. And I don't get the impressions that they were super old. How would I put that? I feel like they would have been maybe 60s or like 75. So maybe for some people like they can consider that old, but I feel like nowadays it's so common for people to pass away at like 80, 85 plus. So I feel like it was still young enough that it felt like it could be a bit soon. But I also feel like for this person's health that they had, it was like all the messages that I get from this deceased loved one, and they're trying to be funny about it. I should say that. They're almost trying to be like making jokes. But they're like bad dad jokes that are like trying to be funny, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. But basically what I get, and it's very clear, is that they were saying like they weren't feeling good in their bodies anymore. They almost felt like their bodies were wasting away and they couldn't even be or physically do the things that they considered being alive involved. And I think that they had just some actual physical pain. And for some of you, I feel like it could have been a heart attack that you lost this person from. Yeah, for some I get like it was just like a dying body, and they were kind of starting to, like, I almost want to say like things like MS or I'm so sorry, I don't know enough illnesses very well, but I almost see like diseases where you start to lose control of motor functions or limb control. So there's some of that. Heart attack is definitely there for somebody where it was maybe a little more sudden, but I feel like the person who had a heart attack, that parent was a little bit overweight, and I feel like they may have had some other bad habits that led to that happening a little prematurely. Overall, everything I get here though is that this person is saying like Like it even says, I feel healthy and happy now. Like they're no longer in that state where they didn't feel human, is almost how I see it. Like they might have been really active when they were younger, or active until like an incident happened to them, or they lost control of muscles in their body or limbs, or maybe they got cancer and they couldn't do as much as they once could. They just, everything here is like saying it's very rejuvenated and it's very full of life, which might seem very strange to you as this person is deceased, but they're like, I no longer have the heaviness and the broken body. Now I have just this light energy body, this body that allows me to do and be whatever I want, and I don't worry about anything anymore. I'm not feeling trapped in my own body anymore. And they're just like, it's how you would think someone would feel at peace on the other side. So happy and almost grateful to be out of that body, out of that way they were living in the last little bit of their lives. So I do see, like, when I see sunflowers, I always just think like the grass is greener on this side for them. And the rainbow is just telling me that, like, through death, like, it was really healing for them. I think they had time to really come to peace with a lot of things, and they are just honestly enjoying where they are now. And I know that must seem so weird to you all. I know that we can have a hard time thinking that we aren't the lost ones, they are, but in this person's perspective, we're the lost ones and they're in the great place. So don't worry about them. There is a little message here though, where this Passover loved one is saying that you all can feel a little bit alone now. Like I almost get that sometimes you can feel like, say if you're needing help with something they used to help you with, like I keep thinking like taxes, or maybe like advice on, I want to say on like what car to buy, or like what to do about this, or what cleaner to use, or like just small things like that that we don't really think about that our parents know. They would just give you advice like that, or a little help with things like that. And they're saying like, one, when you don't know what to do in those situations, you can feel a little bit like an orphan, is almost like the word I hear. Like a little alone, a little isolated, a little bit by yourself. And the message that I'm kind of getting from them is they're saying is that you are so strong, you're so capable of doing things on your own, and that almost might even be part of the reason why they left a little bit earlier, is that they really wanted you to know that you can step into your own power, that you have all the skills that you need to get through the challenges in your life. And they're still there rooting for you. I think that's like another message I really need to say, is that they're still checking in from time to time. I don't get specifically that this pile is stepping into a role of like a guardian angel or anything, but I do get the message for sure that they're like, it's funny to say, in their spare time when they're not doing whatever they feel like doing, they are checking in on you and just keeping an eye on you. And I feel like they're like, I should like do something to remind them to get their oil changed soon, or I should do something, create something in their life to happen, that they'll see something and remember to renew their registration. Like there's like funny things like that that I think they always might have done for you, and they're saying like, oh, don't worry, I'm still like making sure there's a little thing popping up for them somewhere to remind them. So they're still keeping an eye on you, but they are saying like that they're really excited to watch you grow and see basically the strong adult you that you are becoming. Okay, let's see. Let's just ask here. So I kind of just asked, what were they here to teach you? And I really just I keep getting the message that they're here to teach you skills and tools and life lessons and values. And I really just get, honestly, parent role really strongly. Maybe it was even a grandparent, but I think most people here, it's father energy. And it's just saying they were just here to teach you how to become this strong, independent person. And a very good, a very fair person. That's like another important message coming through, that you are very like capable of doing things, but you're also coming from a place of seeing both sides of the story, seeing both perspectives, and not just coming from, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to go take, but very much, what is the word I'm looking for? Treating people with respect. Maybe that's just the thing I'm trying to say, is really seeing that all life has value, everyone deserves respect. Seems very important for this pile, or this deceased loved one was very big on respect and appreciating and seeing the values in everyone around you. And then the message that I'm getting, like, what did you teach them? And I really get that you taught them how to love fully. Like, I feel like maybe this person seemed a little unemotional or a little rough around the edges to others, but whoever you were to them, you basically melted their hearts. You really just, something about you, they just loved so much that it really got them to soften. And when I think whenever they would interact with you, maybe it wouldn't always seem that way. Like if they were harsh with you or if they were too strict with you, I feel like they hurt themselves when they did it, because they like really wanted to keep you as I don't know, they wanted to protect you from the world. That's kind of the energy. Yeah, maybe that's a better way to say it, is that they really wanted to protect you from the harshness of the world. And they might even have seemed like a over-parenter sometimes. Like maybe they would have some really strict rules, but I think that would just be where their fears and their love for you would get confusing and strict. So advice for you and what they want you to know. So there's a few different things happening here. So Archangel Jeremiel is coming through, and they are the archangel of basically reviewing your life and making sure that you're learning the lessons your soul wanted to learn before coming into this lifetime, and making sure and just checking in and seeing where you are on that journey. And here it says, everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to. With hidden blessings you will soon understand. And divine order. So it's very interesting that 2 cards about you're just on the right track right now. Everything is happening as things are supposed to happen. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlining order. I should also add that I don't think this death was recent for this Passover loved one. I think this one happened a little while ago, meaning maybe like 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I'm not getting like a very recent energy here. And I also think that's why some of this messages coming through are around manifestation, which is really interesting. I wasn't expecting that to come through in a card reading, but it would make sense. Like your your father or this person who considers you like a child to them would want you to have all the blessings in the world. And it could even be why all this is saying, like, be careful on the words you're saying, be clear, and use intentions in your life. Use intentions when you're speaking, and focus only on what you want to come in. There's so much around manifestation. So it says, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. And I feel, sorry, let me just read this one too. It Speak or act with negativity and pain follows. Speak or act with a pure heart and happiness follows. Be mindful of being positive in all you say and do. Know that each of your thoughts and deeds has the power to heal you and those around you, so watch them closely without judging. So interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's something coming here from those Passover loved ones about bringing your life back into balance and taking action through your words and your intentions to get what you want in life. So I don't know if some of you have been wondering about that, or maybe you've been wondering why are certain things happening, but it's saying very strong manifestation message coming through in this reading about trusting that everything is coming your way as needed and that things will be put back into balance, whatever hardship you are going through right now outside of this passed over loved one. And just saying to stay focused on what it is you want in your life. So if you fell into the trap of focusing on what you don't like, what you don't want, what you hope doesn't happen, it's just like a little reminder to come at it from the focusing on the thing you do want, the things that make you happy, what fulfills you, the blessings in your day, the gratitude you have. And it's not coming from a place of like you can't ever feel bad, but when you're just focusing on all these negative things coming, then sometimes that can get confusing for the universe to know what you're wanting. So it's better just to focus on what you do want, what you want to feel in the future. I hope that makes sense. It's not that you're not ever feeling bad, you're just not anticipating negative or bad things to happen. You're anticipating good things to happen, but you can still feel these lower states and give them the space they need to heal and be acknowledged. Yeah, it's just not wanting to anticipate negativity. That might be a better way to say that. And take that message as you will, but it's very interesting that it's coming through. You have half your cards around this passed over loved one, and half of them are about manifesting in more positive reality and trusting that everything will come in the right time, and that although things aren't seeming great right now, I feel like you're going to get a curveball. Like, it seems not great, but all of a sudden it's going to lead to a blessing that only would have happened through these slightly unfortunate, weird events happening. Yeah, and I wonder if maybe this message is even coming from your loved one saying, like, trust that it's going to be okay. Trust that the world is working out for you. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm a little confused about why these two are coming up together. They almost seem like two different card readings, but I'm just going to leave it there and trust that you heard what you needed to hear. Okay, you all have a good one, and I will catch you around. Hello, pile 3. You all chose the piece of porcelain Jasper. Okay, I'm just going to put the cards out and then we'll see what's come through. We have the box, the castle, outdoors, creative writing, gift from gods. Okay. Okay, so Passover loved one that I see coming forward, I get that I don't know if they were like a young adult or if you were a child during this era, but I see them as like a 1950s mom or like housewife. I don't like necessarily saying that, but I see like pearl necklaces, beautiful dresses, beautiful styled hair, like did their makeup very elegantly. I think of Marilyn Monroe kind of energy as well. And I also just see, I keep seeing the box card jumping out right after, and I keep thinking like the era in which this person was alive, there was a lot of social constructs and a lot of expectations to be a certain way and social norms to be a certain way. And I think this person would have been, it could have been a grandmother or a mother who was raised during those times. And where I'm getting a little uncertainty is for you, Pile 3, is I don't know if you were the one who felt the pressures from this parent to follow the social norms, to be, say, like if you were psychic or if you were gifted spiritually, that I wouldn't have been accepted in this household, to get like a traditional job for that era or that time, to really just follow the parents' expectations. And I really get that this woman had that expectations on them, and I think they were like a very good like I think they were very good at being like the perfect, you know, like hostess during those times, and would maybe have like the ladies over and would dress very nicely and would make the best meals and get the newest trinkets that were being sold on the television at the time. Get that kind of energy. So I'm not too sure if you felt those pressures from this parent or if that parent felt those pressures in their life. That I'm not totally sure what I'm picking up there. It could be both. But yeah, and I do feel like this person for you was just really a role model for like what beauty was, what a, I want to say beautiful woman was, what a loving wife was. Yeah, I feel like she did set some high expectations, especially for that era, because like I said, I really get the impression that this woman fit that box or fit that bill really well. But I do think that there was limits that this woman felt in her life that she couldn't overcome because of these social norms or these social standards. And I think that she needed some healing from that after she passed. Healing from like those social norms that she never could quite figure out how to both comply but also be true to herself on who she was. So it's very interesting because this has nothing to do with necessarily this Passover loved one, but I do get like, I keep seeing like these 3 cards which are messages from your angels, and it says gifts from God. So I really do think that some of you were psychically gifted. Maybe some of you are natural mediums, were naturally very psychic, intuitive, empathic, natural energy healers of some sort. Maybe you communicate with animals very easily, naturally, something along those lines. And I feel like it was a little shut down from this Passover loved one when that came up. And I feel like a lot of it had to do with the era and the social norms at the time and what was considered okay and what was just considered crazy. So then I do see this, and I do feel like there is some healing to do. There was a lot of love for this Passover loved one. Don't get me wrong there, but I'm just seeing that there's still this need for healing from that part of your life where you were the child in this dynamic. So I see the advice from the angels on how to go about that says creative writing. So make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. So just meaning taking time to connect with yourself, connect with how you're feeling, and just write out those thoughts, how you're feeling at the time, how that might have affected your life. Like, I even feel like there could be like a forgiveness letter that you've been feeling you need to write. Yeah, something along those lines there. Something about forgiveness being important for this pile and healing. And then outdoors, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. How I see this is going to help you start to feel safe to see those things again, fully see them, I should say, because I get the impression that you did have all these gifts and you almost have a bit of resentment about not fully embracing them now. So how I would see that is just that you feel like you've had your third eye shut for so long that you're having a hard time knowing how to open it again or feeling safe to open it again. And I think that's like a frustration that you've been dealing with or have started to deal with lately, and it's something that I think at the root cause was because of this childhood incident with this grandmother or mother figure that's coming through. So that seemed really important to mention. And then also this just says Archangel Sandalphon is the archangel that likes to communicate to us through, say, hearing a song that just all of a sudden we pick up a message out of that song. He also likes to bring our wishes and our prayers up to the universe to be heard. And he says here, we angels bring you gifts from the Creator. Open your arms to receive. So they're saying that they are trying to bring back in these gifts. You haven't lost them. They're still there for you. So if that was like a worry for you about maybe not being able to ever see the things you used to see that you wanted to, maybe no longer having those spiritual gifts that you once have, everything here is saying you do still have them. They're yours. There's even more coming in if you want them. Don't worry about that. Those are your divine rights, those gifts. So I actually am also feeling drawn to approaching this card next. So I just asked for a general card on the wellness messages. I asked for a card for some healing messages or advice for each pile, and you got here, may your heart sing and your soul rejoice. Experience the wonder of life. And you got number 11, which I really like. So definitely just cements that there's some spiritual gifts that are coming in and you're meant to share with the world. They're going to help you be a powerful force. So celebrate all that is good and blessed about your life. Realize that gratitude is a powerful remedy. Appreciating your blessings increases the vitality of your life force. Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah, I definitely get a message around needing to forgive something that had happened in childhood, and not even necessarily forgiving this person for their sake, but for your own sake, because I feel like it's been kind of sitting in this heart center within you, and it might even be the thing that made you feel like you had to hide a part of yourself in this world. You couldn't be truly yourself, and it's really not something that you want to have to be burdened by anymore. And like I said, I see that you have a lot of gifts you want to share with the world and that you are going to share with the world. And I think this healing is part of that, to fully step into who you are fully. Okay, and so messages from this passed over loved one. The thing that I find very interesting here is I did see right away that it says, I have become one of your guides. So that right there tells me that there was a lot of love in this relationship. I just think that there was just these social norms at the time that might have made this gift something that this Passover loved one thought you had to hide to essentially keep you safe. and maybe it did keep you safe at the time, but now I feel like part of the way that they want to have forgiveness from you for this is by being one of your guides and knowing that they're supporting you and rooting for you now on the other side. And then it says, I am just a thought away. So really just cementing that this one is really close by. This person is not far from you. I'm just a thought away. Something about the girl and the dog really stood out to me here. I don't know why. Maybe that will mean something to you all, but I couldn't stop thinking something about the girl was really important. Maybe just further cements that this was, I think it was your mom or your grandmother, someone who was in that very important role for you all. And then the last message from this Passover loved one is, it is beautiful where I am. And I believe that's just coming through because sometimes we have the belief that our Passover loved ones now are alone or now don't have as beautiful of a place to be, but usually it's quite the opposite. So usually they're in a slightly more beautiful place that isn't so heavy with these lower emotions and disease and cancers and things like that. They're now in a place where everything's a lot lighter and loving, and there isn't conflicts, there isn't arguments, there's just pure all accepting love. So it seems like a really good card to come through. It's so interesting because from this one I'm not getting that they have a lot to say right now other than just this embracing your gifts piece and really taking time to nurture yourself and ground yourself. I should have said that when I see outdoors, I really see it as time to ground yourself and feel strong and connected in your body, connected with your emotions, with your desires, with your inner child, with any limiting beliefs that need to go, and then writing them down and getting them out of your system, and then fully stepping into and embracing these gifts. And these healing gifts, I should say, of yours. And like I said, yeah, this Passover loved one is definitely still there, definitely still guiding you. And I just have to say, like, we don't have to take the advice from our Passover loved ones if we don't want. That's always up for you to choose. But I do feel like there was a lot of love in this connection yet. So they might even want to be guiding you to make, like I said, make up for not being able to fully appreciate or nurture these spiritual gifts that you had while they were on this physical plane with us. Okay, I actually think that's all I have to say for this one. I hope that brought some sort of clarity that you all might have been looking for when you first clicked onto this. I just see that you're going to do so much powerful stuff. Like, I just see so much of stepping into your power energy here, fully embracing it, and I just think this is a very magical pile. Like, I just see that you guys I don't know what your spiritual gifts are specifically, but they're pretty strong. So it's time for them to come out and shine, that's for sure. Okay, that's all I have for you all, and I will catch you around. Today we're going to be doing a guided meditation for your heart center. So please sit in a comfortable position. This meditation will be approximately 6 minutes long. We are going to bring our attention to our breath. Take a deep breath in, then out, relaxing your body with every breath and releasing any tensions or stress as you exhale. Deeply breathing in and breathing out, feeling all the muscles in your shoulders and in your back softening and relaxing. Take one more deep breath in, then out.
Now touch the center of each of your palms with your opposite thumb. We are doing this to activate the energy flow to the center of your hands. Once you have done this, gently place your hands out in front of you with your palms facing up to the sky. Closing your eyes now, imagine two beautiful pink waterfalls of energy pouring into your open hands. See and feel the powerful flow of this pink energy. Notice the warmth that this loving energy is creating in the center of your hands as the pink waterfalls grow stronger and stronger. Now imagine these pink waterfalls of light are becoming even bigger. Take your hands now and place them on your heart. Breathe in. Feel that powerful, loving pink energy traveling from your hands into your heart. As this safe, loving pink light flows into your chest, back, and shoulders, it clears out any fears, blame, or pain that is lingering there. Breathe deeply in and fully receive this supportive and safe pink light. Observe as it replaces the negative feelings with a sensation of love, forgiveness, and joy. Now, as you look at your own body with your mental eye, you see the pink light traveling to your stomach, then your hips, your knees, all the way down to your feet. You're encompassed with this high vibrational love frequency. In this higher state, you remember that you are being a pure light. You were created from the same energy as Source. We are all connected. Now, taking a deep breath in, you are allowing in life force and love to integrate into your entire body. Every time you exhale, you're letting go of what no longer serves you. Any fears, worries, or pain you've held in your physical body, they're all being let go of now. Feel your connectedness, your strength in being supported by this all-accepting, loving energy. Remember, whenever you feel afraid or doubt your ability to be open to receive love, that you can call upon this powerful pink, loving energy to support you and bring you strength. Now stay in this energy for a few more moments, breathing in, knowing that you are a person who is deserving of love. Breathing out, letting go of any self-doubts. Breathing in the powerful, loving energy of the universe, and breathing out any resistance. Imagine yourself as the happy, fulfilled version of you that you want to be. Now smile as you step into that version of you. Know that today everything is working out for your best. Now gently bring your awareness back to the present moment, back to the room that you are in. Start to wiggle your toes and fingers. Slowly open your eyes. Continue your day knowing that you are loved. Sending you all lots of love and light.